To all members of the XRE family, I hope you enjoy your stay here on the Crypto Channel. We will meet to discuss the week ahead for XRE after we review the present market situation. There has been a plethora of activity over the previous 2 days, which is to say the least. But what if we were to conduct thorough investigation and analyze both the present and possible future outcomes? Now is the time to take a bird's eye view of the market. If you've been keeping up with dollar cost averaging over the past day, you'll notice that the overall business community, you are without a doubt incredibly pumped up. You should be thinking about a lot more than what I previously mentioned. However, there have been announcements to the effect that 70 countries have contacted Donald Trump in an effort to negotiate the tariffs. I know for a fact that nobody is grousing about the market's recovery, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't be concentrating on other things for the time being. At the moment, one Zcoin is worth exactly $1.80. 86. This message was made on Tuesday morning when the cryptocurrency had risen by 10.1%. In comparison, Bitcoin's value had climbed 4.3%. Looking at the market cap, it's still more over $100 billion. 0 cents or 108.5 billion, with almost $9 billion changing hands in the past 24 hours. Be that as it may, I'd want to swiftly state that the content of this channel in no way constitutes financial advice. You should constantly conduct your own study and due diligence before investing in cryptocurrencies. Hard work. I'll begin by pointing to this as an excellent illustration of the points I made at the beginning of the movie. I agree with you. Put it in context. The yuan's value against the dollar has dropped to its lowest point since 2023. A growing amount of enthusiasm is visible on the board. On top of that, China is still actually discussed any taxes. Once again, it's there in terms of the possibility of uncertainty. While it's true that the degree of relief is increasing slightly, we still need to be vigilant about certain things and keep a careful eye on them because there is still a lot of tension. Furthermore, I believe that my prediction is that the markets will be affected if this remains unresolved. However, think about this for a second before moving forward. The Adorama wallet finally sent $29 million 0 cents worth of Bitcoins, 365 of them a decade after they were last sent. Based to data from Arkham, the wallet got Bitcoin not long ago at a price of $284 0 cents. I find this quite interesting. The idea is doable. Who gained access to this wallet also discovered the private keys. Whatever it is, I can almost feel the excitement radiating off of them. They are obviously not too concerned by the present price of Bitcoin, which is about $80,000, 0 cents, considering that we are talking about $29 million, 0 cents USD. However, basically all you want to do is tell your people about it. Derivatives present a promising opportunity to apply smart contracts and distributed ledger technology, claims ISDA, a Ripple partner. Dalt, have a look at this piece. Quadrillions is the result of adding Ripple and derivatives to the Scrapple ledger. Things that provide amazing. But first, let's take a look at the price issue, because as you probably already know, everyone is curious about the current price. What follows is an analysis of the preeminent stance. The level of absolute power has reached new heights. This might be seen moving in the aftermath of a big collapse. Once again ascending, there was a sharp decline from yesterday's 64%. From what I can gather by looking at how dominant it is still, we shouldn't get excited about a potential altcoin season, as I've stated on my channel multiple times. Exceedingly prevalent, be that as it may. Let's look into the current state of Bitcoin and see what we can learn. As a result, Bitcoin's value soared to almost $80,000, 0 cents. We retested yesterday And it's obvious that they're circling about $80.00. More specifically, they are at 79 right now, 4 in the wee hours of Tuesday morning. A cursory examination of Bitcoin reveals that it remains within the 0.5% fib zone. However, how soon can we expect a relief rally or perhaps a rebound to 38.2? As I said in my previous reports, the potential for remains rather high, particularly in the event that we are able to overcome this critical hurdle. I said this because, in my opinion, there is still a chance that you may see some bullish momentum where the bulls are essentially taking charge of the market. But other things need to be thought about too, because even a tiny alteration, and by that I mean that even a minor alteration could completely alter the outcome. Consider once more the scenario in which President Trump tomorrow announces new tariffs. In what other fields would that hold true? Are you cognizant of the impending events? Something more to think about as a downside when you do perceive something as crucial. I am completely convinced of it. You will see a rally, especially a relief rally, when the news is somewhat positively associated with it, as we have seen in the past few hours, bloodbaths. Just to be clear, we need to keep a careful eye on everything. People will come out as you encrypt because seem to be acting somewhat gloomy for no apparent cause at all. No, I'm only trying to be 100% realistic and understand the other person's perspective. I still haven't decided to buy this. If you're considering bringing in a professional, though, keep in mind that some tasks call for constant oversight. We did, in fact, implement the changes you requested, reaching the $1.92 mark. It was at that range that we were actually rejected. Nonetheless, we are presently positioned beneath that substantial obstacle. I wanted you to know how crucial it is that I upload it to my channel. An extremely important and noteworthy aspect is the range of XRP. Right now, we're sitting right under it. Precise second, as a result, we may still see the aftermath firsthand and potentially fill the wick. This won't happen immediately, as is obvious. As expected, we do have a level of support at $1.74. While it's true that there is some backing, 160 down to 160, keeping an eye on it regularly increases the likelihood that we will fill the wick we saw a few hours ago. This becomes even more true when you look at it every hour. Instead of checking it daily, we will provide you with a lot more data. Consider doing so if you so desire. Examining it hourly, however, you could learn the fundamentals of how the system works. You won't believe the bounce. Undoubtedly, we witnessed an astonishing bounce. However, it seems that the wick did not endure for an extended period. I filled you in on the details the day prior to yesterday. The bulls and bears are clearly becoming increasingly agitated with one another in regards to this particular crucial obstacle. If you've been dealing with rejections falling within that range, you should now have a much better sense of the key resistance. Since we've had 5 or 6 separate retests in the last few hours, I've been discussing this with others for some time now, the significance of that degree. To be classified as highly significant, an expert's fee needs to close above that range. I believe that if it can do that, we can go back into the market much more quickly than $2.00. This is notable opposition, though, and you should be aware of it at the moment. Just in case this doesn't materialize, you ought to vigilantly maintain vigilance.